Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Medium by Design. So I noticed I haven't done a walking video in a while. This is number 15, and I got a reminder from my friend Larry in Florida. I miss your walking videos. Not that I haven't done videos, but I haven't done one of these videos. I've been working on the Jesus Chronicles, which you will see on YouTube soon. And I got For the Love of Karen, the kitchen job. That's coming up. There's 3 videos on YouTube for that. And then there's some more famous people on there. So if you haven't gotten over to my YouTube page, The Medium by Design, there's some very uplifting stuff in the last couple of weeks. We have Larry King is on there now, and Regis Philbin, and Maya Angelou, and Thomas Jefferson. All messages from the other side for you new people that don't know what I do. And there's much more to come. The topic for today, though, is I had two ideas for today that were on my mind. One is prophetic messages, prophetic words that you give to another person. You speak over their lives and the power in that. That was one of the main things I wanted to talk about, because I'll stick with that for the moment. The one thing that we're noticing is strong opinions, strong ideas, and people are sticking to their own ideas and their opinions and what they feel, their beliefs, what they feel is right for them. And then we have people who are trying to impose what they believe onto many people, over the people. So there's a little bit of a free will choice friction, I'll say, going on. So what we want to remember now through 2021, because now we're in the new phase of our major foundational shift of many cultures around the world and countries and governments, we are still going to continue to see major changes. And let's look at a good practical example, a positive example of what is to come. Texas was in the news, right, last week? And the surface, view of what's happening is devastating. People have died. Their homes some of them have been destroyed from the weather and the cold. So that's the facts, right? There's no discrepancy there. People definitely died. The weather is really bad, and homes have been destroyed. Then on the man-made side, we have people, because their utility grid is being analyzed right now, and the way they set up the free market in Texas with these individual companies. Texas has a very interesting way to pay your electric. You can pick and choose your provider, like you were picking your cell phone provider. It's very interesting. I don't know any other place that does it like that. There may be others. I don't know. I'm just saying, just an observation. So we already see people taking steps to change this way. What they've declared, I think just this morning, was that all those bills that went out where there were thousands of, they're in the thousands of dollars for their electric bill, that's all been canceled. They've all postponed the bills. They're redoing the billing. So already we see a change of how they're going to restructure their electric companies and their billing. That's a positive change. It's not working. It's blatantly ripping off people. So this is pretty fast. And the reason that it's so fast is because people died. You have a tragedy, and that pushes us to make immediate changes. And I think what we're going to see out of Texas is going to be really amazing. I really, really have high hopes for the way they're going to restructure the way their grid works, the way they charge for electric, and maybe gas. I didn't really look too much at the gas situation. I don't know exactly what happened, so I'm not going to speak on anything I did not check out. But I wanted to use that as an example of these are changes that were overdue, that originally when they were put into place, the people that were in charge believed it was going to help people. It did not. And now it must be changed. And this is what you want to look for. This is how you stay on the upper side of what we're witnessing. And you stay above the chaos, and especially the negativity. You know, this is what we want to do. We want to rise above and stay above all of it. Very important this year. Hello. So I thought Texas was a good example of that. And if we can take that and spread that around and see those positive changes, I think this year we're really into some really good sweeping changes that many people have been waiting for. So I just want us to have our eyes open to these areas that may not have been working, and let the people with the brains and insight and the power to change procedures, laws, whatever's necessary, and let that rise to the surface. And here's what we can do as people that are not in positions. You know, a lot of people think that learning about consciousness and learning about your spirit has nothing to do with the physical plane. Well, I'm one that will totally disagree with that because it is a lie. It is not true, and it comes from ignorance. Okay? And the ignorant can stay ignorant, because what's really fun about this life is you have free will, and you can stay in your ignorance. And that's great. Just don't come play in my sandbox, because you're not going to like it. You're going to be very uncomfortable if you come and play in my sandbox. So, because my sandbox has many different ways of looking at life that are much healthier than even the ways that I grew up with. This is how much I've had to change. And for those that know me, because I have a lot of people that I met early on in my life, I still have friends from the 80s. I still have friends from grammar school. Of course, we're not friends, we're not around each other. We're all over the country. But, people that remember me from high school, I'm not the same person as I was in high school. I have some of the same foundational things, but basically I'm really a lot different. So, and that's what we want. We want to move through the life, learning new things and getting new foundations that are more positive and will help us for the rest of the life, moving forward. And the more we do that, the better things get. So we definitely want to keep that in mind for 2021. And, what's really funny, last year, with all the businesses in many places having to have a forced stop, that really had a lot of people going through, serious financial I'm going to say hardships. And just maneuvering around the mail truck. Oh. Yeah, I don't own my own island yet, where I can be and do whatever I want at any time of the day. I'm still living amongst the masses because that's where I'm supposed to be. So, anyway, last year really brought a lot of things to a halt. This is old news. We all know this. And of course, not all of you have your own business. Not all of you are independent contractors like myself, like many people that I know. I'm friends with people that are a different breed, some of the people I know, because they really create their own destiny. And without them doing what they do, their lives would just stop, whether or not they had some pandemic or not. My contractor, he is a self-propelling businessman. And that's come into the forefront too, on a practical, positive note. Right up into the government, you're seeing these benefits come down, these financial breaks and gifts for loans. And of course, there's always an argument, so please don't get into only the big companies got it. I don't want to hear it. Not only the big companies got it. I know a lot of small people got benefits last year. So, I'm speaking from my personal experience and what I saw. And yes, I did see people who didn't get it. Yes, that happened too. But please, refrain from making these ignorant blanket statements as if you think you know, when you don't understand. Everybody's having an individual experience. And some people have done really, really well through this period. And that's what I want to focus on. Who's doing well and how are they doing well? That's my personal plan here. Show me how to make things better and to stay on track. And so far, even though things are a lot quieter than they were from 2019, we're still prodding ahead. Even if it looks like it's a snail's pace. But not everybody's a snail's pace. Some people are flying. Some people are really doing well. I'm just taking it, at my pace, which is a little slower than most, which is fine. That's where I'm at. And that's what everyone should be doing, including you, whoever's watching this. Stay on track, stay on your pace. Don't compare your speed to somebody else. Not necessary. Sometimes it takes a while for the universe to catch up with your dreams, goals, and especially now, the new directions, okay? That's really cool. There's new directions that are unfolding, and sometimes they take a little time to for all the people to come together and things to get moving, and that's the way it is, and that's okay. I had a fun experience. I'll give you another one of those intuitive guidance things that happened that was meant to be. I went to fill up my 5-gallon water jugs. And then after that, I got a message, go up to a certain Goodwill store. And what's funny about this is I hate that Goodwill store. It's not my favorite. I don't go there very often. But that day, I had to go there. So, here's the funny. I didn't go there to shop. That was not what I was there for. I went there to meet a girl with her mother who has 2 floppy ear rabbits. And they take them out in a stroller, and the rabbits stay in their basket, and they're not strapped down. They're just laying there, just enjoying the day. And I was supposed to meet that girl, because my father had the rabbit. If those of you that know me, of course not all of you will know this, but my father had a rabbit for 12 years, and it died either the end of 2019, it's over a year now, and it was very devastating. He had the rabbit for, as I said, 12 years. He had a relationship with this rabbit. So those who are animal people, you know what that feeling is. You've been through it. So I guess I was reminded that, if my parents want to have another rabbit that they could actually take out and take for walks, they could do that. And these rabbits were great. Oh my God, they were so beautiful. And so we had a moment with the rabbits. And I said to the girl, I said, I got a message to come here, and you're the only reason I came here. I don't even have to shop in this store. I can leave. There was nothing there for me. I was there for her, to meet her. And this is what my whole life represents. Every single thing that happens has a spiritual intervention. And that's what I'm here to remind you. You know, the more that you get it, the more that you use it, the more that you get the benefits. You know, I have so many stories, and those that came to groups and have been around me, they've heard a lot of them, how Spirit has stepped in and, you know, guided me away from something and into something else. And it's just been such a really cool ride in many ways. So I guess that's the theme for today. It's like, keep looking for the positive changes rising to the top on all levels and in all parts of our society, and keep that fresh in your mind and agree that you want to see more, and use your faculties to request, to be clear in the mind, this is what I want to see. And the more of us that do that, that's what we will see. I mean, if you're going to get distracted by things that are not raising you up, and you believe in those things, then you will probably see more of those things. And that's okay, because you have free will. If that's what you want to see, and if that's what makes you feel comfortable, then stay there. You are more than welcome to stay there. However, for those that know that changes are inevitable and that positive change is the true heart desire, we're going to stay focused on that. And I'm going to keep sharing stories and sharing messages to show that Spirit is alive and well and guiding your steps if you want. And if you don't, that's okay too. It's all up to you. And if you haven't gotten clear since last year, and whatever you went through last year, you still got a chance to get really, really clear on what you wish to see. And just to remind you to have patience. And this is coming from an Aries who had to learn and still has to practice patience. Once you set the stage for what you want to see, there might be a time lapse. And just be okay with that. You know, we have things going on that continue to need to be cleared. And those things might or may not affect your goals and plans. So if it is, and you have to just take small steps until we get clear of whatever, you know, our society has to get through with, just stay in your commitment of that. Slow and steady. You know, for some it's going to be fast. Some people are going to get on their new track and they're going to skyrocket. And that's great too. But that's not for everybody. You know, remember, the one message that rang true is to continue to watch and protect your nervous system. So maybe your nervous system has to do things in smaller increments, like mine. And that's okay. You know, a recent message talked about how we're learning to be more gentle, you know, and the more gentle you are, the better outcomes you're going to have. So just keep all this in mind, and notice this video was a little bit more mellow, because for the last month I've been more mellow, and just going with that, you know. It might have been because it's cold, you know. That's why I haven't been out. And I know those in other parts of the country, I know you're going to make fun of me, but if it's not 60, I'm not walking. You know, it can't be in the 50s. It's got to be at least 60 or better. So that's why I move around the country a lot, because I follow the weather. If it's too hot, I'm not going out. And if it's too cold, I'm not going out. So you can call me anything you want, but that's how I am. That's just the way it is. And I think it's because I grew up in New Jersey and had, some bitter cold winters, and I had pneumonia and I had bronchitis. I was always sick, and I think I'm done with that. I think I'm done with snow. I don't wish to see snow except on your videos, people that do videos from their parts of the country. I'll watch your video and you can play in the snow, but I'm done with the snow. I like the sun. So, you can make fun of me. I don't care. It's okay. But that's how I am. That's what I like. I like to be where the streets are clean, where I can drive, and the sun is out most of the time, and it's above 60. But really, I got to tell you, my favorite degrees are 70 to 85. That's my sweet spot. So, anyway, that's where things are at the moment. I hope that this video finds you in a peaceful place. And I hope if you weren't in a peaceful place when you started listening to the video, I hope you're in a peaceful place now. Because we can change things in ourselves on a dime. Oh, you know what? Let me tell you this one. I just thought of this. I had a little sprinkler repair to do. And I don't like doing outside stuff with the house. I'm not into plants and sprinklers. I had a lot of that in the last house, and then I just decided, no, next house we're not doing this. So the only sprinkler that's working is for the tree. I have one living thing on the property, a beautiful tree, old tree. But the sprinkler system is still there from before, and it has a leak. So I'm going outside, and with every home project, there's always discovery. You start to fix one thing, and then you realize, oh, look at that, there's something going on over there. And I'm not complaining about it. It was very interesting. I was enjoying the process, something I don't like to do. I was getting into it. I'm like, no, you can do this, and you can do it slow and steady, and, take it easy. So I started the project. It's not done yet. It's very small, but I'm not going fast. And then I had these stones that I had gathered from a friend of mine, and they were in a pile, because the yard is all dirt. Yes, the designer does not have a perfect yard. That's the only thing I don't do. I'm focused on the inside of the house. I don't usually do the outside. And so I'm a little bit behind on that. So anyway, I did get some of the larger stones to do a little something. And I came up with a really silly thing. And I wanted to put them in the corners. And so I moved those around. And I did it with the dolly, and I did it really carefully. Well, I hurt my back. And the first time I had pain in this area was from 5 years old. That's the first time I threw my back out. And that's the first time I went to a chiropractor. So for me, my body responds really good with chiropractic, especially a good one. We won't go into debates over that. Chiropractic can be really great if you have the right guy or right woman, whoever. So anyway, obviously this is an old thing that came back around, and this is the meat. I guess this is really the meat of this part of the video. I did a spiritual writing the other day, and they told me what that pain, where it came from, and what energy, what memory was in the pain. And they told me, and this video is not out yet, so I'm not going to get into the whole message, just this one piece, and then you can follow up with the video when that message is out. But they basically told me that humanity was holding certain energies, and that was holding us back. And that if we as a collective will clear those energies and those soul memories, we will see society jump forward, and we will reap the benefits that are on their way to us. So I'll leave that very general, right? But for my back, the memory was of a lifetime dealing with slavery. And that's not owning slaves, that's being a slave. So somewhere in my DNA, there is a lifetime or more of living as a slave. So that is the memory that was in the pain. Now, when I was a massage therapist, I helped people understand this all the time. But since I don't do body work anymore, I only talk about these things. And then it's up to you to go follow through and see if you have any cell memory that's causing a pain, something from another timeline, another lifetime, family heritage. There's multiple avenues that this pain can come from. And once you're on that track and understand that everything can be turned into a release of that pain, you can heal yourself. I shouldn't say everything, I'm sorry. I don't want to overgeneralize. But many times, let's just say many times, once you understand that that pain you're having is from the past and it's a memory and can be released, you can agree to allow it to be released and you can heal yourself. And this is what I do. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not a doctor. I'm just going to, put a disclaimer here. I'm not telling you what to do, and I'm not a doctor. But I can tell you my personal experience. And I can give you personal experience from my massage clients. I have a lot of stories about that. So let's go back to this pain that was in my back. So I get the message that this is from a slavery lifetime. Okay, I'll take it if that's true. And that I can release it if I just breathe and have the intention to release it. So my guides recommended that in my walking prayer meditation for that morning to start consciously releasing that memory, that cell memory of slavery. There were other words and other things, and I added those to that prayer meditation. In 3 days, the pain was gone. No medication and no chiropractor. So that's a fact from my life that I can share with you. And do what you want with it. And that's what I'm here to do. Just sharing the facts that I experience. And I hope that this helps. I hope that, you can use these things, and if it benefits you in any way, great. Again, everything is free will. When I got the message, I could have rejected it. I have free will. I'm writing from spirit, but I can tell them they're full of shit. It's my choice. I've had knockdown arguments with Jesus. Sometimes I'm not happy about the way things are going, and he tells me in my face what it is, and I'm like, well, that's crap. That's not what I want. I can still have a tizzy fit, even with Jesus if I want to, But as we know, once you let go of your tizzy fit and you realize that they're giving you the truth, and the truth will set you free, you feel so much better. So I'm hoping that this year that is full of new truths is going to set millions of people free and bring in new policies and new ideas that benefit everyone. So in my prayer, everything that comes to pass should benefit the highest number of people. That's what I see. Every change that comes should now be a benefit to the people, like what we're going to see in Texas. So use Texas, and I'm sure there are many other examples. I'm just using that because that's what came on my feed, my video feeds, and so I got some information about Texas. But I think it's a great example, as well as the self-healing example that I just gave you about my own experience. This is what I focus on. This is what I utilize to keep me on the positive track that this is where I want to go. And if many of us agree, just like Jesus said, if 2 or more come together in agreement, then the reality will shift and you will have that thing. And this is another little thing that we should understand. When I'm working on a remodel and I'm working with spirit and a person's home and the owner of the home, I'm talking to them with spirit and the contractor. And every step of the way, the word that I use is consensus. When we have a meeting, we do not end the meeting until we have consensus. Whether it's one-on-one, or it's 3 of us, or 5 of us, it doesn't matter. The meeting is to come to consensus and agreement so that the energy of the universe and our spiritual guides is behind us and we're flowing in the highest direction possible. And that simple truth that I use every day comes to pass in reality every day. And I really, really wish that I could see more people operating from that foundation, because that foundation is what creates success in every single endeavor. So everything becomes a win-win. There is no side. There is no better. It's only creative ideas coming together to create a solution, or in my case, more beauty, a better environment, if you will. The foundations that I work with, I think they're great. And again, you have free will. You make up your own foundations. But I'm telling you, when I work with other people, I walk into every job, I want to see a win-win. And when I say win-win, that means everybody gets paid to do what they do so they can live and continue doing what they do, so they're supported. And whoever is hiring the contractor or myself, that they get more than what they even imagine they would get. And every job, every person says the same thing. They all got more than what they thought they were going to get. And that level of satisfaction is what I live for. That's what I want in every single endeavor. And that foundation is what keeps that energy perpetually going in that direction. And this transition that we're going through requires that kind of commitment to what you want to experience. It's not a time to stay wishy-washy and just let anything happen. The minimum is to outline the energetic experience that you want to have. Now, if you don't like the word energy, that's fine. Throw it out. Use a different word. Just fill in the blanks with what you want to see. If you want to see more businesses thriving, keep that in your mind so that when you leave the house, you meet people in business that are thriving. If you want to see families overcome COVID, you put that in your mind. I want to see the people that have survived and overcome and come out of this on the other side healthy and happy. And you keep saying that. My mother even does this. She says when she's driving with my father, she's saying out loud, COVID is done, we're finished, everybody's healthy. We've come through it. Of course, she probably uses other wording. She uses other wording than that. But, she uses the wording that matches her alignment, her energy. She uses what works for her. And that's what we all should do. You need to use the wording, because there's energy behind your words that fit you. And that's all you got to do. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to... It's not as difficult as people, including myself, when I started all this 30 years, because this is my 30th anniversary. 1991 was a big turning point for a change in my personal consciousness, and where spirit really stepped in loud and clear. And that's when the Medium by Design was really born, even though the name wasn't there yet. That's when it really started. And that's when I realized, wow, there's a lot of beings and people are on the other side. There's a lot going on the other side. Even though I had experiences before 91 was where the foundation of that truth got cemented. And then it's just expanded since then and gotten better and better and better, because everything you put your mind and your energy into expands. That's the law of the universe. So if you're looking to see success in any area of life, the more you talk about it, pray about it, share about it, it will expand. So you don't have to do anything difficult here. You don't have to sorry, my arm's getting tired. It just will happen. And I see this every day. When I didn't know I was going to meet those rabbits and have this animal experience when I left the house that day. I was just going to get some water, and then I got the guidance to go to the Goodwill store. So, this is here for everybody if you want it. If your ego tells you you can't have it, and if your belief system says it's not real, then you will not have it. And that's okay too. If you don't want it, then you can reject it all that you want. That's okay. Well, why? My question to people is, why wouldn't you want it? Why wouldn't you want to be blessed every time you leave the house? That's only a question you can answer. I have no clue. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you this. I was on the phone with my parents, it might be 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and I said to them, I don't understand why you don't want joy. That makes no sense to me. Why would you want to remain irritable and upset for years of your life and not have any joy? And I can't answer that question for them, because I asked the question because I don't know the answer. I'm just coming from observation. So I think that's enough for today. I think we've covered many bases, and I started out slow, and then it seems like as I walked, I revved it up. So with that, I'm wishing you a very blessed day and some beautiful surprises. And again, if you feel supportive of what I'm doing, any of the videos, I've got a PayPal link. I've got the email. You can use Zelle. You can just like it if you don't want to be financially supportive. That's fine too. It's all free will. And you can subscribe if you feel like it. I'm not twisting any arms. I'm just saying, if you want to be supportive, there's ways to do that. And I appreciate any way that you choose to do that. And I'm going to put a thank you and a shout out to Michelle H. She surprised me with a PayPal donation, and that came out of the blue. So I want to acknowledge the people that do follow through and feel like they're getting something and then they physically follow through. I think that's fabulous, because I still haven't done any groups yet. Groups. I have a weird thing, and maybe you guys can help me. If you have a suggestion, feel free to